What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Advantage Player Workshop. Today's video was shot about a week ago. We're a little behind schedule on some of this. Most of our videos are going up in the members area only. But this one here we wanted to make public right away and show it to everybody and do a quick discussion. Of course, I'm doing commentary after the fact, but I want to use this video as a good example to explain what your advantage is and how to get the edge or the advantage in the game of craps and how it relates to the game of blackjack. You know, I've said in the beginning that getting the edge in craps or being an advantage player in craps, obviously it's all about dice control or influence of the dice in some way. You know, and you differentiate the two, in my opinion, by dice control and dice influence. You know, dice control is all about controlling everything that you can control right up until the time you let them go. The influence is what comes after that. Right? You know, the speed, the spin, and all that. You know, you have influenced the dice and how they're going to fly through the air. And then your influence on those dice is going to what's going to determine, with a bit of chance, of course, of how they end up landing. But I want you to take this video here and look at the amount of ones I roll. I'm setting them in the 1-1-4-4 set. Okay, I got the fives on the outside of the horizontal axis and the twos are on the inside. And I want you to look at the repetition of pattern that I throw these early dice especially, but just throughout the video, you'll see that in windows, I'm repeating the same action over and over and over, and it results in repeating numbers or repeating numbers in tight windows. And when you have practiced enough and you are delivering the dice consistently enough to get that, now that's a 4-2-6, of course, if my timing is correct, but so it's obviously a different combination, but it's obviously the same number. They all pay the same, so that doesn't really matter. But obviously the 1-5-6 is the example I'm pointing to. But as you watch the rest of the video, just look how in these tight windows, I repeat the same numbers and the same combinations of numbers in small groups. And when you have the ability to do this by setting the dice a particular way and repeating the same action over and over, you're increasing your chances of hitting those numbers more so than the random game. And as you notice, the casino's edge in craps is not based on what you're going to roll next. It's just they skew the payout, right? So everybody knows this, but anybody that doesn't know, basically their edge is built into the payout versus the true odds of rolling a number are, and they don't pay you the same. They pay you less than what the true odds should be. And so every time you win, you lose, right? Every time you hit the number, they're just not paying you what you should normally be paid in a random game. But the whole purpose of controlling and influencing the dice is to change the true odds of what's likely to come. And that is the whole purpose of setting the dice, practicing your throw, and on and on. And this is where your edge comes in. And you have to have the ability to practice, number one. And then after you've had hundreds of thousands of rolls, right, you have to start somewhere, right? But as you develop the skill to be able to deliver the dice consistently, repeatedly, you're going to see these patterns pop up. And once you see that you're delivering the dice consistently and you're keeping the set the same and you're starting to see repeating patterns, well, you have changed the odds of the true odds of what's coming next entirely. Will you roll that exact combination? Maybe, maybe not. But it's far more likely that you will than you won't. And now, what are the true odds of that? Only you can know if you go back and do all that, you know, reverse calculation type thing, which is probably pretty easy to figure out if you really care to. But you don't really need to. You really need to dumb it down and simplify it and understand this. If I know I have the ability to hit my spot repeatedly using the same set, and I start to see that one over and over and over and over and over, right? Well, the likelihood of me rolling anywhere between the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6, because the 1 is coming in the next 5, 6, 7 rolls because I'm repeating my action over and over and over, well, I have a higher probability of hitting those lower numbers. So let me move all my bets down to the low side and hammer those for a few minutes while it lasts. And then, of course, it's going to be fleeting because, you know, you're going to change, your arm's going to get tired, or all the other variables that are constantly changing, the Earth's rotation, the humidity, all these things. I'm joking, of course, but as you can see, I had a penchant to repeat the same action over and over, and look what that resulted in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sixes. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then ultimately the 1, 6, 7. Now, you know, if you are, and this is where your skill also comes in, your ability to read the situation in your own throw, and then you see that you're repeating the same numbers, the same action, right? I'm getting to the 1. It doesn't necessarily have to be the 1, 5, 6 every single time. But If I'm setting it that particular way, I'm hitting my spot and I'm hitting that 1, 1, 1. Well, guess what? For the next 3, 4, 5 rolls, I'm likely to keep hitting that 1. And so the chances of me hitting lower numbers are higher than a random game. Boom, there's your edge. And that's how it works. Now, that's a dumbed down version of it. And if you're interested in going in a deeper dive or you want some, further explanation, feel free to click the link below, reach out. We are putting a bit of an instructional course. We're also going to have some more personalized one-on-one type settings. It'll be virtual, but it also can be in person at some point. If you have any interest in that or joining any of our other programs or the inner circle or any of the stuff that we have, just click the link below, go to one of the landing pages, whatever you're interested in, input your information, and we'll be in touch. If you've already filled out one of our forms and you got an automated email that was generic, I apologize. I didn't realize that setting was turned on. I have since fixed that. But we're just trying to make small improvements every single day and, looking to build a nice community in our little area. And anybody that has some advantage play skills and you want to be a part of our little team and you feel like you got something to offer and you want to, do any of those types of things, please feel free to fill out the form and input your information. And, we won't spam you to death, but we would like to reach out and get to know you and get to know what you're interested in, what you have to offer and what we can offer you. So I hope you enjoy this. About to head to the airport for a couple days and see if we can't put a few winning sessions together. We'll save where we're going until later, but I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to let the rest of this play out. I got a little frustrated on this one, to be honest, because I was sitting with this particular set. We started out playing the 4, 5, 9, and 10. We do add the 6s and 8s a little later, but getting out of the gate, repeating the 6, and then setting our point, hitting our point, setting the point, hitting the point. I kind of kept getting frustrated because I was trying to hit other numbers, the higher paying numbers. That's really what I want. I want to get paid 2 to 1 or 7 to 6. 9 to 5, as you know, and it just kept going on and on and on. So, you have to be able to bet them properly, of course, right? And you have to know when the situation is going. In some of these videos here, what I'm trying to do is, rather than changing my set around, I like to change my throw to get to the numbers the set is supposed to be providing. And I like to do it in reverse because it allows me to hone my skills in my throw, not keep guessing on the set till I get a right outcome. Right? Because you need to work backwards. You need to work from the landings backwards, in my opinion. That is the right sequence to be able to really get dialed in because you can't just keep changing your set around if your throw is inconsistent. Then you're just hitting a moving target, moving 100 miles an hour, right? Well, slow it all down a little bit. Get your landings figured out. Get your throw figured out. And then if that's a good outcome, you keep it the same. If it's not a good outcome, keep the throw the same, but then change the set. But the reason I like to do it in these videos is I like to keep changing my line, my target line, and all these little things, in micro adjustments like I've made in videos previous. And that allows me to get my throw figured out to match the set I'm after. And that's why I like to do it. And I'm a little bit more stubborn in the videos than say I might necessarily be in real life. Because it's in your practice area is where you really develop the skills. But you got to develop the skill of the throw first and then match a set that matches the throw and then learn how to bet it. And that's how I like to do it. That's how I think is the best and the fastest way for people to learn, not the other way around. The grip is, of course, part of it. A throw it all works together, but you really need to tackle it in small bite-sized pieces, and it needs to be in the right order. And it all starts from delivering the dice consistently. So yes, the grip, the release, all that is part of it. But, the landings are crucial, right? So get them to land softly, as little energy as possible. Then you can start to incorporate some various angles, directional line, target line, landing face angle, tilt angle, if you choose to use any of that. A lot of people they never heard of any of that. I feel like I'm fairly new to some of that, or I'm fairly one of the only people that have ever said anything that publicly that I know of. I don't watch everybody's stuff, really. I don't have the time. So if anybody's out there doing that, I apologize. We're just trying to, relay our own methods and thoughts here. So I think you all understand it. But we really appreciate all the followers and the commenters and all that stuff. So, let me give a big hat tip to anybody that has a channel, right? There's always going to be crossover and, redundancy on some of this stuff. It's only a game that, you can only cover so many of the topics. But anybody that is putting out content, right, good or bad, no matter what it is, it takes a lot of work, right? So just give everybody a break. And if something's not perfect, there's just doing this myself, it is a circus trying to keep all these things going at once, and then the editing and all that. That's why I never even attempted to edit any rolls and cherry pick them and make them look better than they were. It just was not worth the time spent to do it. It is such a pain. So some of these things are far from perfect, but just take my word when I tell you, we don't edit any of the rolls. That is too time consuming, and it's just not worth the return. And so there'd be no point anyway. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully we got some good news coming in a couple of days. We'll see you on the next one.